Hi, good afternoon. This is Brian Begley from nCloud9. We're a Dynamics 365 partner in Omaha, Nebraska, and we are a specialization in marketing automation with Dynamics 365. Today, we are joined by Stacy Sutheimer from ClickDimensions, one of our core partners. She's going to talk about some considerations to take in when selecting a marketing automation solution for your CRM. If after this webinar you'd like to explore further options for your business, please contact us or ClickDimensions. And with that, I'm now going to go turn everything over to Stacy. Stacy, are you ready?
Thank you, Brian. I do appreciate that.
Great. Here I am, and you are now the presenter.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to attend this afternoon. I do appreciate it. As Brian mentioned, I'm Stacy Sutheimer with ClickDimensions, and we're actually going to talk about how to select a marketing automation solution for Dynamics 365. So when we're going through this, if you do have questions, feel free to put them in the chat pane if you'd like, or if you want to save them till the end, that is fine. All right, let's get started then. So just to give you a little bit of agenda of what we're going to talk about today. First off, we're going to talk about what is marketing automation. Some people still have a lot of questions around what actual marketing automation really consists of. Then we're going to go into why is marketing automation so important today. Obviously, there's a lot of different ways and avenues for you guys on a sales and marketing standpoint to do business. And we're going to talk why marketing automation should be really an important part of that mix. Then we're going to actually talk about the 8 questions you really need to ask yourself when you're actually going to be selecting a marketing automation solution for your Microsoft Dynamics 365 environment. And since we'll have a little time probably after that, we'll actually dive into the live environment so I could show you how ClickDimensions actually works right within your 365 environment for marketing automation. And again, like I mentioned earlier, if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat pane. Otherwise, we can do it at the very end. All right, let's dive in. So first off, just a little bit of an intro with ClickDimensions. If you're not familiar with us, first off, we're 100% fully native. ClickDimensions is the only one that's going to be 100% native right into your 365 environment. So the benefit to that is that from a marketing standpoint, all the functionality and features are going to be done right within the 365 environment, but then all the great data that you're getting from utilizing the different functions and features, you easily can be able to pop that data into dashboards and views right within your 365 environment to better measure the objectives that you want to measure off of. And then from an IT standpoint, what's great about it is that since we're 100% native, that means you don't have to worry about managing 2 separate systems or having your CRM data here, your email data in a different place. Everything is truly going to be underneath the 365 house. Another thing about ClickDimensions is that we are fully supported. So once you do become a subscriber with ClickDimensions, what's great is, especially since you have a partner like nCloud, they'll walk you through the ClickDimensions onboarding process. And in conjunction with nCloud9 doing the onboarding, you're also going to have the support from us on the ClickDimensions Training Academy, knowledge base, and also our support team. So you're going to get a continuous level of support as you're going through your ClickDimensions subscription throughout your lifetime. Also, we are fully committed. So since ClickDimensions is the only marketing technology that is 100% committed to the Microsoft ecosystem, this is all we do, so we know marketing in Dynamics 365 like no one else does. All right, so let's dive in a little bit to what actually is marketing automation. With marketing automation, features can really vary by platform, but these are really some of the common features you really should find in a solution. First off, email marketing. Obviously, sending out emails, that's kind of the backbone of everything. Also around events. If you have any in-person or online events, like a GoToWebinar, WebEx, or an Eventbrite, you can easily be able to actually integrate that inside your CRM via ClickDimensions, so you can easily be able to market to those participants. Social marketing. Social marketing is really a big component of a lot of companies' marketing pieces today. And so with social marketing, it's nice to be able to just post, uh, very quickly and easily right into your different social media platforms, but then also to be able to have a social calendar, enhanced analytics, social streaming to really help your overall social media strategy. Campaign automation. Now, what's great about campaign automation is you could easily be able to create just a visual type of a roadmap where you can easily schedule out and send out series of emails, but then also route people on different paths of communication based on how they interact with those emails. If you do SMS text messaging as part of your marketing mix, with ClickDimensions, you can easily be able to integrate with one of our two providers where you can send out an SMS text message to a group of individuals or even just a one-on-one right within your CRM environment. You also can do lead scoring, so you can better measure people's level of engagement with you based on emails they've opened up, website visits, and even form submissions. Also, web intelligence. It's not only important to keep track of the people that you've already been identified with, but also those anonymous visitors as well. We have landing pages and surveys and forms. We offer full training and support. But then also the reporting aspect. So you want to make sure that you have a marketing automation platform where you can have full, robust reporting capabilities, not only with just your data that you're getting from marketing automation, but also the regular data that's in your CRM today. So moving on, really, why is marketing automation so important today? So the internet and social media have really changed the buyer behavior, which has in turn actually changed how companies market and sell. And with information so readily available, buyers are now even more of a power position than they ever have been before. They expect more relevant, more personalized, and timely communication from the brands and the companies that they're actually working with. So another thing here is with marketing automation, technology allows companies really to meet those expectations by really nurturing the prospects until they're ready to buy, better engaging with existing customers, and also aligning sales and marketing, all while streamlining marketing processes and tasks for greater efficiency and increased revenue. So as you can see, with the companies that actually use marketing automation to its fullest extent, they're actually outgrowing their competitors because they know how important it is to not only take care of their current clients, but also, do the lead gen and nurture those potential customers that aren't ready to buy yet, but they will someday in the future. So getting into it, these are really the 8 questions that you're going to want to start asking yourself as you're selecting a marketing automation solution for Dynamics 365. So first off, with marketing automation solutions, does it include all the features that your organization actually needs? Now, marketing automation solutions are capable of much more than just email and marketing, like I showed you on the earlier slide. They include a wide variety of features such as campaign automation, web intelligence, forms, landing pages, surveys, social marketing, and a lot of other important features. So when you're evaluating this, really take the time to think about whether the solution you're considering includes the tools your company needs for your current marketing, sales, and customer service initiatives, but also really keep an eye on the future as well. So for instance, while your organization may not use SMS messaging, for example, in present day marketing efforts for today, it's something being considered if it's something actually that's being considered for the future, make sure that you choose a marketing automation platform that can really grow with your company. So this really isn't something that's just going to be a short term. When you're looking at a marketing automation solution, really think about your long-term marketing efforts and if the different functions and features that are being offered really align with the growth that you're going to want to look at in the future. Number 2 is it really going to be easy to implement and use? Now, while it's really imperative to make that a marketing automation solution have a robust feature set that makes it powerful and versatile, the system can't sacrifice simplicity for functionality. So if daily users of a marketing automation system find it difficult to use, they're not going to use it to its full potential or will try to do a workaround using it altogether. So a system that's not only user-friendly, but also defeats one of the main purposes and benefits of marketing automation, which is saving time. So similarly, if a solution is difficult to implement, in full or in part, your organization is unlikely to realize the maximum ROI of marketing automation. So really making sure it's easy to use for your team is really going to be an essential component of this, because you can have all the great features that you want, but if it's not easy to be able to use, it's not going to be used to its fullest potential. So moving on to point 3 is really what are the options for training and support with this marketing automation platform. So even the most user-friendly marketing automation system will require training for new users to get up and running. So really take a look at the training offered by the vendors you're considering. Now, since different users have different ways of learning and different schedules, look for a marketing automation vendor that offers a variety of training options, such as live webinars, recorded courses, help articles, blog posts. Similarly, you should support really should be offered in different ways to support your company's different needs and operating hours. This not only demonstrates that there is help available to you when you need it, but it also ensures that you can get started and get results very quickly. All right, moving on to number 4 is, does it really integrate well with Microsoft Dynamics 365? And this is really a key component to look at, is that while some marketing automation platforms can be used without being connected to a CRM system, integration between two of the solutions maximizes the power and effectiveness and value of each throughout an organization. Now, there are many marketing automation systems on the market today that integrate with Dynamics 365, but their level of integration can really vary. So the level of integration can really impact the cost and timeline for implementation, as well as overall functionality and performance. So, I mean, just to kind of reiterate with that, even though if there's a client that says, a marketing automation platform that says, yep, we can integrate with them, you really also have to be cognizant of, do you have to have a connector? You have to be cognizant of connectivity issues. Is there going to be syncing issues? So that's really something to keep in mind. All right, moving on to step number 5 is, how often is the system updated? So let's face it, with consumers' behaviors and preferences changing, to be successful marketers must be able to adapt to these changes. A marketing automation platform should evolve with the changing needs of marketers. So be sure to look at how often each system that you're considering is actually going to be updated, not just with fixes for problems that arise, although those are really important too. Vendors should regularly add new features and improve upon existing ones. So also make the marketing automation providers you're considering, ask them whether customer requests help drive product updates. While this information doesn't guarantee that they're going to grant every customer request, it really does demonstrate that they always put the customer's needs first. Moving on to number 6 is, what reporting and analytics capabilities does the system provide? So with marketing automation, reporting was once evaluated on whether it could help marketers make smarter decisions, but marketing automation isn't just for marketing anymore. Marketing automation solutions today really should allow for smarter business decisions and really insights organization-wide. So look not only at the reporting and analytics capabilities available in the solution, but also how easy is the data and intelligence can be assessed throughout the organization, particularly those in sales, customer service, and executive roles. All right, moving on to the question number 7 that you should look at is really, what is the total cost, the total investment that you're looking at with a marketing automation platform? So keep in mind, when properly implemented and utilized, a marketing automation platform should really pay for itself over time. So price shouldn't always be the most important consideration when evaluating solutions. Instead, really look at the overall value. Ask yourself, what do you get for the price you're paying? Be sure that you look at overall costs, including if there are fees for setup, training, CRM integration, additional users or contacts, or other miscellaneous items. Now, with these extras, sometimes what appears to be the most affordable solution can actually be among the most expensive. So really, when you're looking at total cost, I mean, really look at the ROI that you're getting out of using these different functions and features, but definitely make sure to ask the overall total cost, because all these different little components that a company may add really will count up over time. And finally, last but not least, number 8, does the provider have a good reputation? So when investing in a marketing automation solution, a company isn't just purchasing a piece of technology. The nature of the system requires you to have an ongoing relationship with the vendor. So you want to make sure it's a provider that's worth having a relationship with. So be sure to seek out customer testimonials, online reviews, and ratings. And since your company works with nCloud9, seek out their suggestions too. Because with their expertise that nCloud9 has, their experience they have with Dynamics, they can really provide really some valuable insights into that marketing automation solution that best fits the D365 users. All right, so keep in mind, as the popularity and importance of marketing automation has increased in recent years, so has the number of marketing automation solution providers. However, marketing automation platforms are not a one-size-fits-all. So I hope you're able to get a little bit more questions as you're evaluating to really be able to get those questions so that when you're pursuing a different marketing automation platform, that you're able to get those questions answered to get the best fit of a marketing automation platform for you. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into the live environment for Dynamics 365, so you can actually see what a true marketing automation platform looks like right within the Dynamics 365 environment. All right, so with ClickDimensions, we're in our D365 environment. So if you already have Dynamics 365, you're going to have your sales tab. You probably have your marketing tab. In your marketing tab, that's where you have your marketing list, your leads, your dashboards. Everything in this cranberry color here, this is ClickDimensions. So it truly is just going to sit right within your 365 environment. Now, the first thing I want to talk to you about actually is email templates. So we do have a wide variety of email template, email options to be able to build out, whether you like more of a wizard-driven kind of an approach, whether you like 100% start from scratch, HTML. This is probably one of our most popular ones, which is the drag and drop editor. Now, for someone like me that does not have any design experience, this is my preferred go-to email template option because I can easily be able to make modifications to it. But we also find a lot of our tech-savvy marketers like this option as well because you can easily make modifications to it. So first off, you can see that we have some featured templates already kind of built out. So you can easily be able to pick one of these and pop your information in. Or if you want just more of a basic layout, you can choose one of these. And again, you can easily modify it if you want. So with this, it's very user-friendly to do. You can easily upload an image into the image manager. You can section out with folders for easy organization. Also, you can easily be able to do Photoshop type features. So if I wanted to, I can create an Instagram kind of an effect, change the filter color if I wanted. I can crop it, I can resize it, I can put text on it. So I definitely do have Photoshop type functionality right within this editor tool. Another thing here is with text or image, I can link it to something specific. So if I wanted to, I can link this to a website link, email, click to phone if they're using a mobile device, a document, a subscription page, or even a ClickDimensions survey or a landing page. Another thing to keep in mind is obviously when you're sending out an email, you want to be able to personalize it. Even if you're sending out to a marketing list of hundreds or thousands, you still want to be able to have that personal touch in an email. And with ClickDimensions, what's great is that you can really be able to personalize this message however you see fit. So let's say, for instance, you want to send out an email to maybe all of your existing customers and you want to address them all by their first name. All you have to do is click on this person contact And then any fields that you have in the owner, lead, contact, or account records, and all the fields that you have within those records, those are going to be accessible to you. So you're truly going to have the power to be able to personalize this message however you see fit. Now, another thing to keep in mind with this is that you can easily be able to modify this if you want. If you want to, add image blocks, text blocks, put in social sharing links, you really have the power to be able to personalize this. And then obviously, branding is very important from a marketing standpoint. So by all means, if you guys have a specific shade that you love to work with, a specific color code for your branding purposes, whether it's for the background colors or the text colors, pop in those color codes so it's going to be able to match and complement your exact color code specifications. And then also keep in mind with this, when you're doing it, we have mobile responsive design automatically built into this email template. So regardless if someone's viewing this from their desktop or their mobile device, it truly is going to be a great user experience regardless of the device they're viewing this from. Now, one other thing to keep in mind is that, let's say from a marketing standpoint, you've made this email template and you love the look and feel of it, but you want to make just a couple modifications and tweaks to it to use it for a different email communication. At this point, you don't have to start from scratch if you don't want to. All you're going to have to do is click this clone button, and what that's going to do is that's going to make an exact copy of that email template. So at that point, all you have to do is just rename it, make the changes you want to make to it. So you really don't have to start from scratch if you don't want to. All right, like I mentioned earlier, we have this drag and drop email editor to make an email from. We also do a freestyle where if you want to start 100% from scratch, you can do that. We also do have an option where if you don't want to do 100% HTML, you can do that as well. So there's a lot of different options when you're actually creating an email template. All right, moving on from the actual creation of an email, let's actually dive in a little bit to when we send out an email and all of the great tracking capabilities that you get after you send out the email. All right, so when you send out an email to marketing lists with ClickDimensions, it's very user-friendly to be able to do. All you're going to do first off is attach an email template, put in the subject line. A little later, I'm going to show you here how we actually attached our email, our newsletter to our monthly newsletter campaign dashboard, and I'll show you the reporting possibilities a little later. You could choose to send this email out for the record owner or someone else in the organization. You could choose to send it out now or at a later date and time. And again, since we're going to be native right into your 365 environment, any marketing list that is in your 365 environment that you want to send to, just click which marketing list you want to send to, and they're going to appear right in here. Now, if you're using A/B split testing today for your emails, or if that's something that you want to do in the future, that's something you can easily do with ClickDimensions. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, email statistics. What's nice about the email statistics when you're looking at the email send after it's sent out, you can really get as broad or specific as you want when you're looking at the email statistics. So for instance, when I looked at this, I can easily see that we sent out this email to 171 individuals, but we didn't exclude any of them. Now, if we did exclude, it'd be because of a couple of reasons. Either one, it was a bad email address, so they took it out of the equation, or two, they decided to unsubscribe to our newsletter. Now, if you want to know who was excluded or why they were excluded, you can just click on this Excluded Emails tab, and that's going to provide you all that information. So truly, all the open and click rates, these are truly based off the actual number of messages that were sent out. Now, if I want to dive in just a little bit deeper into this, I can easily look at email clients. I can see, hey, are people viewing this maybe more from their desktop versus their mobile device? Conversions, this is probably my favorite view, because I can quickly and easily see how many emails were delivered, how many unique clickers, how many unique opens. Let's say you put in a ClickDimensions web form or a survey into that email. I can easily see how many web forms or surveys were attributed to that email send, and also how many website visits were attributed to the email send as well. Recipients. I can quickly and easily see everyone that was sent this email message, and I can also be able to see how many times they clicked inside the email. Now, if I really wanted to, I could click in here and see exactly when that individual opened up this email and exactly what they clicked on. And I'm going to show you the contact record in just a little bit. Another thing to keep an eye on, and this is especially important from a marketing standpoint, is with this heat map, I can visually be able to see the top links people are clicking on. So I can see, hey, what are the most attention-grabbing headlines? What are people actually most interested in? Now, don't get me wrong, these percentages, these are definitely nice to be able to look at, but they're not actually going to be telling you guys the full story. So if you want more specifics on who's actually doing the clicking, you're going to go to this click report. And for instance, this first link, if on this link, I could see that 9 individuals clicked on the link 10 times. If I really wanted to, I can click on this link and I can see all the names of the individuals that took that specific action. Now, let's say I wanted to find a little bit more information about this individual that clicked on this link. I'm going to click on that person's name. And that all of a sudden is going to take me to that person's actual contact record. All right. Now, transitioning on to actually all the great information that's actually in the contact record, salespeople especially find this very helpful. So as you'll see, the contact record is just going to be like the contact record you have with your CRM today. So you have all the general information that you'd already have in that individual's contact record. But when you have ClickDimensions, you're going to be able to get so much more information out of it. So let's say, for instance, Kevin is one of my clients. I can easily see from Kevin's contact record, if I have ClickDimensions, any ClickDimensions emails we sent him. How many times he opened up the email? How many times he clicked inside the email? If I really wanted to, I could see exactly when he opened it up and exactly what links he clicked on. I can also be able to see any web pages of ours that Kevin has ever been on. You know, how long was he actually on each page for? I can also see any ClickDimensions web forms or surveys that Kevin has ever completed. And if I really wanted to, I could specifically drill down and see what he filled out on those web forms or surveys. Now, one question I get quite a bit is that, hey, let's say as an organization, you don't want everyone in your team to have access to the ClickDimensions functions and features and info. What the great thing about this is that since we're native right into the 365 environment, much like you have security role settings for your 365 environment, you can also do similar security role settings with the ClickDimensions functions and features as well. Now, aside from all these great features, what's nice about this is I already showed you how to send to a marketing list. But there may be times, situations, you want to send just a one-off email, but still have all the great tracking capabilities behind it. So at this point, I'm on Kevin's contact record. I'm going to click on Quick Send right here. And then at this point, what I'm going to do is any of these email templates that you see in here, if you want the ability to send it off as a one-off email, mark it as Quick Send when you're making it, so it's going to appear right in here. And then at this point, what I can easily do is I can alter the subject line if I wanted to. I can change if I want it from the record owner or someone else in the organization. And then if I open up the editor, I can easily be able to change it if I want to and alter it. Or if I love the way it looks, I can just click on the send button. And from that point on Kevin's contact record, you know, anytime you opened up the email, clicked on the email, all that information is going to be right in here. All right, moving on from the contact record, right now I want to actually dive a little bit more into really being able to automate a lot of the manual processes you're doing today by doing a campaign automation. So really what's great about a campaign automation is you can truly create a visual type of a roadmap where you can easily schedule out and send out series of emails, but also route people on different paths of communication based on how they interact with those emails. So in this scenario, what we did was we sent out an email to a marketing list. But then what we did was when we sent out that email, we put a trigger on, we put a decision note onto it. So that if someone, opened up the email to read it, we sent them down this path where a task was created and a user was notified to follow up with them personally. Alternatively, what we did was anyone that didn't click on this email, they just ignored it, we sent them down this alternative path where we waited 3 days and we sent out another follow-up email just to try to grab their attention one last time. And that is just one kind of a scenario you can kind of build out, but there's a lot of different ways to be able to do this. So with actions, you can send out an email. You can add them to a marketing list. You can remove them from a marketing list. You can assign it, assign it to an owner, notify someone maybe on your team, create a task, a workflow, do a campaign response, or even send an SMS text message out. And even with the triggers, it's not even just an email interaction if someone maybe opens up an email or clicks on a link in an email, but that can route off a different path of communication. You can also do it if someone submits a ClickDimensions web form, a subscription, a survey, or even if they have, let's say, a GoToWebinar, a WebEx, or an Eventbrite. Maybe if they registered for the event, you could put them on a different path of communication, or if they attend an event, you could put them on a different path of communication. So truly, there's a lot of different possibilities around this to really be able to maximize your overall marketing efforts in a streamlined fashion. And to do this, it's very user-friendly to be able to do. Truly, for instance, like let's say the marketing list. With this, you just name it, put in, attach the marketing list that you already created. Even with the email, you literally just put in the email template you already made, put in the subject line, if you want it from the record owner or someone else in the organization. And then even with the interaction, do you want to put someone on a different path of communication if they clicked on clicked on it or opened it? And even with the wait timers, you can choose the time and duration you want to wait, or if you even want to, you can even get it specific as a certain date timer as well. And keep in mind, just like with everything else, with us being native right into your 365 environment, any email that was opened, any website link that was clicked on, all that information is going to flow into everyone's personal contact records, just like I showed you earlier with Kevin's. And if we did publish this, we would be able to see the step-by-step statistics in the automation and the names of the participants and where they're at in the automation as well. All right. Moving from the campaign automation tool, I wanted to be able to share with you now web forms. So a lot of times I get a lot of people coming to me saying if there's web forms already on their website, 9 times out of 10, if someone has a web form on their website, if someone fills it out and clicks the submit button, all it does is just go into someone's inbox for them to have to, wait for them to work on it. With a ClickDimensions web form, there is a lot of automatic actions you can have happen behind the scenes to really make that web form submission that much more efficient and effective. So first off, this is an example of a ClickDimensions web form. When someone fills this out, there's a few things that happen behind the scenes. So first off, since we're going to be native right into the 365 environment, it's automatically going to write into the 365 environment. So it's going to go under the posted forms area, but it's also going to go underneath the person's individual contact record, just like I showed you earlier with Kevin's. Now, email address, that is truly going to be the key identifier. So perfect case in point, let's say, someone goes to our website, fills out this, web form with an email address, and that email address is not in our CRM today. That web form would come in then as a lead or as a contact. Just a matter of how that web form has been built out. Now, let's say a day, a week, a year later, that individual maybe comes to our website again and maybe fills out even a different web form with that same email address, since that email address is already in our CRM now, then that form would just attach to their already identified contact record. So for instance, when I showed you earlier that Kevin's contact record, if Kevin were to go to our website today and fill out an email, this web form with his email address that we have in the CRM, it would just attach to his contact record he already has in there. All right, so now the actual building out of a web form is very user-friendly. And when I'm showing you how to build out a web form, I want you to keep in mind that when you're building out a ClickDimensions web form, surveys are going to have the exact same kind of look and feel to them for building them out, and also the exact same automatic follow-ups. So just keep that in mind. When you're building out a web form or survey, you're going to have a new field. And when you make that field, it's going to retain here just like a library. So literally when you do that, you're going to drag it in and you're going to drop it over. Actions. These are the automatic actions that can happen behind the scenes. So not only do you have the option to add them to a marketing list, but you can, when they fill out that form or survey, you can do an email notification, a team notification, a campaign response, a task maybe to have someone follow up with them personally or assign it to someone individually. So there's a lot of automatic actions that can happen behind the scenes with that single web form or survey submission. And then to embed it, you can easily embed this as a widget or an iframe or as a direct link in an email. So whatever works best for you on that. And then to preview it, you can easily preview it. All right, moving on from there, I want to be able to talk a little bit now about landing pages. So what's nice around a ClickDimensions landing page is if you want to really do kind of a freestyle, just kind of a start from scratch, also maybe do a little HTML, we definitely do have a freestyle type of an editor for you to be able to do that. But if you want a landing page where you have a little bit more of a guidance with it, this layout manager is going to be very user-friendly to use. First off, what you're going to do is you're going to select a layout, and then from there you can easily make modifications to it. You know, I can insert blocks, I can edit them, clear out the content, you know, change the border styles, the background colors, maybe resize an image. And then this scenario I showed you, we actually embedded a ClickDimensions web form into this. Now, if you want to embed this landing page, you have a couple of different options. You have the iframe. You can embed it maybe on your website or blog post, just copy and paste, or as a direct link in an email. All right. From there, what I'd like to be able to talk a little bit more about is lead scoring. So the great thing with lead scoring is that really gives you the power to be able to kind of get a better take on maybe who's more of a hotter lead or who's maybe more heavily engaged with you in an overall standpoint. So with the score settings that you'll have with ClickDimensions, there's a few different things you want to look at. First off, you're going to be able to do points if they've just visited your website, but then also you can do them around page views. So for instance, on your website, maybe there's certain pages on your website that are more prevalent and important than others. So if you wanted to, you could be able to maybe have the lead score, have features be a higher lead score than, for instance, resources. You know, so you can be able to do different lead scores on different pages if you want to. Another thing to keep in mind with this is that you can also do lead scoring on the emails that are clicked and opened up, or even if they submitted a web form. So there's a lot of different ways to be able to do the lead scoring. And keep in mind that these lead scores then flow up to the person's individual contact record. So at that point, what you can do is, since we're native right into your 365 environment, you can even do workflow where, let's say your marketing team has determined that once a lead score has reached 300 points, then maybe the have a workflow that notifies the person that owns that contact record to follow up with them personally. So it's just a great way to be able to show their level of engagement with you. Another thing is, while we're in the ClickDimensions settings, I want to be able to talk about in-person and online events. So if you do have any of these connectors where for in-person events, we have Cvent and Eventbrite, or online events, we have GoToWebinar or WebEx, you can easily be able to integrate these so that all this information from one of these solutions flows into your CRM via ClickDimensions, so you can easily be able to market to those participants. So for instance, with Eventbrite, all you have to do is put in, go through the steps, put in your login credentials one time, and then at that point, your information is going to flow into your CRM via ClickDimensions, so you can easily be able to market to those participants. It's not only with in-person or online events, also SMS text messaging. So if you have bulk SMS, Twilio, or MessageNet, you can easily be able to send out an SMS text message, whether it be to a marketing list of individuals or even just a one-off SMS text message. Also, we do have RSS to email as well, so keep that in mind. And then from a social standpoint, what we have is inside your 365 environment, you can connect up to 5 business profiles if you want to, but you can do a basic post to your Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn account. Now, if you want to have more enhanced possibilities around social media, which includes a social calendar, enhanced analytics, social streaming, social listening, we do have an add-on module available to dive deeper into with your social media strategy. All right, going to the web analytics. So what's great with our web analytics is that you have all the general visitors that are on this site today that you can see. Now, if they're already in this contact or lead area, that means they've already been identified as ClickDimensions. And you're identified as ClickDimensions with one of two ways. Either you fill out a form with ClickDimensions, or you click on a link in an email that was sent via ClickDimensions. Now, I already showed you all the great data that you're able to get with someone once they already identified, like I showed you in Kevin's contact record earlier. But what's great with ClickDimensions is that we also actively monitor and measure anonymous visitor activity as well. And I'm going to show you why this is so important. So with the anonymous visitors, even though we have never, properly identified these individuals yet, we're still monitoring every single move they make with us. So I can literally see day after day, page after page, every page they've been on, how long were they on each page for. Now, when the time comes with this individual, maybe they go to your website and fill out a web form, or they click on a link in your email and they do become identified, all this web browser history from when they're an anonymous visitor is then going to be tied to your now identified contact record. So truly, once someone does, once you guys have ClickDimensions all set up, when someone goes to your website and kind of starts clicking around, to when they do become identified, you're going to have all this valuable web history to see how long they've been interested in you, what have they been checking you out for. So all this information tied what's already is in that person's identified contact record, you're truly going to have a 360-degree view vision of that person's level of interaction with you. All right, so now that we've looked at all the key functionality and features of ClickDimensions, what's great is since we're going to be native right into your 365 environment, is all the data that you're gaining from utilizing these different features, you're easily going to be able to pop that data into dashboards and views right within your 365 environment. So when we do this, you could not only have just ClickDimensions data, but since we're native into your CRM environment, you can take information from just your regular CRM data and combine it with ClickDimensions data for even greater reporting and analysis. And one other special thing to note as well is if you do have Power BI, we actually also have a Power BI content integration pack where you can easily be able to bring in some of this ClickDimensions data into your Power BI for even greater reporting and analysis. All right, now that I've shown you as far as the different functions and features and kind of a high-level overview of this, I did want to let you know that when you do become a subscriber with ClickDimensions, since you're a client of nClouds, nClouds will actually take you on through the ClickDimensions onboarding. But then in conjunction with nClouds onboarding, I did want to share with you quick all the great resources that you'll have access to when you do become a subscriber with ClickDimensions. First off, your team is going to have unlimited access to our ClickDimensions knowledge base, where at this point, you're going to be able to easily see step-by-steps on all the different functions and features of ClickDimensions. So for instance, let's say you wanted to make a ClickDimensions web form and you want to learn how to create an individual form field. At this point, all you have to do is either watch a short little video, or it literally gives you the visual step-by-steps on how to do this. You know, step 1, click on form field. Step 2, click new, and so on and so forth. Now, you're also going to have unlimited access to our ClickDimensions Training Academy. And with this ClickDimensions Training Academy, what that's going to do is give you a lot more in-depth view with webinars and or printed documentation around all the different functionality and features of ClickDimensions. This is a private access site, so you don't have access to this until you become a subscriber. But anyone on your team that wants to learn ClickDimensions will have access to this. And I mean, we have 3 webinars just around even that campaign automation tool alone. One that goes over best practices, one that goes over different scenarios, and one that gives just a general overview of the campaign automation tool. Now, if you're ever stuck on a certain step, by all means, you could certainly loop in our support to provide you additional guidance. All right. Now, as we're kind of wrapping this up, I wanted to see if there is any questions that you guys had at all, anything that we can help with. And keep in mind, if you do have any questions or you actually want to see a tailored demo of ClickDimensions, please feel free to reach out to nCloud 9 directly or even myself at ClickDimensions. We'd be happy to help. All right, any questions that you guys can think of right now? All right, seeing there is none, feel free to reach out to nCloud or myself if you'd like to have a more of an in-depth discussion. And thank you so much for your time.
Thanks very much, Stacy. Appreciate you presenting today.